Good morning, campers. Let's do a reading. Let's jump right in today, starting from how are you feeling? So you know this is your collective. How are you feeling today, this collective? What's the emotion in your hearts? What's the emotion? How are we feeling today? We have intuition. I'm hearing. Ooh. I heard questioning with this. Ay. All right. We have intuition. We have movement as well. We have ghost. And we have pain. And we have pain. Ay. Passion at the bottom of the deck. Maybe you are connected to someone, this collective. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that this is going to be love related. This is going to be love reading. Maybe you are connected to someone who has recently ghosted you, or maybe already a couple of times, which caused pain within you. Obviously, it's a painful experience. And I always say this, yes, we have to have compassion. Yes, if you watch me, I would say it takes a victim to create a victim. But we have to realize that behavior like that is mental abuse. It's not okay, and it doesn't really matter. We can go out on a worst date ever, only one time, to have a cup of coffee with someone that will last an hour and a half. If they text us, we still owe them an explanation. Why? Because we're supposed to be human beings. We're supposed to be decent human beings, right? And what kind of an effort it costs you to send someone a message, right? It's coming to my mind, so maybe that's what you were thinking. And maybe this is your time to learn a little bit about this kind of behavior, because there's two sides of of every coin. One side is we shouldn't be judging these people, we shouldn't be hating these people, we shouldn't be reacting aggressively, because in the end everyone has the right to be the way they are. And again, when we act this way, it always comes from a place of pain. No normal, healthy, happy, balanced, centered, self-aware person does these things, right? But on the other hand, it's not something that we should be excusing, and something that we should be accepting. So the reason it started coming into my mind, it would be on your mind. So someone treated you this way, and maybe you're questioning your intuition. Maybe you didn't see it coming. Maybe you felt like you had something with this person, and suddenly that happened. Maybe you had that forward movement with this person. Hold on. We love the sun, but not when it's straight onto my face. All right. What else? Intuition. Trust. Maybe you trusted this person. Maybe it hasn't been. The example that came to my mind is, even if you literally go out once with someone, but if you had trust in this person, if your intuition told you to trust this person, maybe I'm hearing you either did go out a couple of times, or you did have a little bit of a thing, or maybe you even talked about these things. Maybe you even literally mentioned and had a discussion with this person that, these days people really don't care about other people. People really behave in a very shallow way, and it's such a hurtful thing. Whatever is it that they said and you guys talked about, I feel like your intuition told you to trust this person. Ghost. Balance. See, you guys, there's a reason it was all coming to my mind, and I was telling you about that. Every coin has two sides, and that we have to balance every situation in life, right? And so when we are faced with behavior like this is what I always teach you guys. Yes, we have to have compassion. Yes, we have to understand, again, that a person who is centered, who is balanced, who is self-aware, who is kind, would never do this to any other person. Again, you can go on a date that feels like complete, misalignment, and you never want to have anything to do with this person. If they write you the next day, you should respond to them, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. I don't think it makes sense for the two of us. And of course, then if they pursue you with insistence, with sort of a borderline stalking energy, you have all the right to stop replying and to disappear and to block and delete. We have to protect our energy as well. But as human beings, we should feel responsible that we cause that our effect, right, our behavior has an effect on others, and we should be mindful of that. So we should understand, and we should have not expectation. Again, two sides. One thing is understanding where it comes from, that healthy people don't do that there's need to be wounding within this person to treat you that way. But one thing is understanding, not judging, having compassion. And the other thing is not accepting, right? Not allowing people who do this to you to come back into your life in a month or two or whatever. Unless, Spirit says, unless they really show signs, I grew and I matured. But here's the thing, I'm giving you a crash course on avoidance, right? But maybe this collective, you need to hear these things. Here on this channel, I teach you that anyone, literally anyone, has the capacity to grow, to expand, to learn, to improve, and to become a better person. We do that through healing. We do that through shadow work, right? And if you really, feel, because that's what your intuition telling you, you're going to tap into, right? Maybe this was on your mind. Maybe this is why you trusted into this person, trusted and allowed this person into your life, because they've done this couple of times, but every time it seemed like a different energy. But you have to ask yourself a question, have they really changed? Because if someone returns in a month or two, no one can change in a month or two. No one. If someone does this to you, I could tell you, all right, maybe if you see this person in a year or in 6 months, or if they reach out to you and they start with accountability, I'm sorry I did this to you. I had some things going on. I had to mature. I had to do some healing. Then I would tell you, all right, it's fine to allow them into your life. Let's see where this goes. But if someone did this to you and they return within a month, no one can grow in a month. No one. I mean, we can grow, but we're not going to change that drastically. Do you know what I mean? It's technically, theoretically, it's possible. And my mind is going into, I always embody the energy of the collective, right? So you would really be, I'm hearing a rabbit hole of thoughts. Right? So this is how your mind would work, right? You would be like, oh, but I have to forgive them because it means that they just wounded, but they wounded doesn't mean that I have to forgive them. Okay, they returned in a month, so maybe they've changed, but can a person change in a month? This is how your mind would be operating right now. We have isolation, that's underneath pain, and we have confidence. We have confidence. I want one more for that confidence. I feel there's a confusion in this collective, to be honest. Cleanse. I feel this is it. I feel that, you guys, we're going to really have to do a deep dive into how you're feeling and what's going on, because you would be definitely in that rabbit hole of thoughts, right? And this is the danger, and I talk about this all the time. I'm sensing that this collective, you would feel that this person is your true soul connection. Maybe you've heard of, you've watched some videos online talking about true soul connection. I don't even want to say what we're talking about here, right? Because we're going to need a bit of a crash course for this collective. I feel like you feel that in your intuition and you're trusting that this person is destined, that things need to clear out. Maybe there's some healing needed, but that there's gonna be movement for the two of you. This is why you allow them back into your energy, despite the fact that they cause you pain, despite the fact that every time they do this to you, you feel like staying at home, talking to no one, doing nothing, and it really causes you a lot of pain. It's something that you cannot balance. But you guys, this is the danger. I talked about this in my recent video about tarot and discernment, and 90% of people who go online to talk about soul connections, twin souls, spirituality, awakening, manifestation, it's rubbish. And I'm sorry to say this, but it's rubbish. It's this new age sprinkle on top of kind of spirituality. You've heard something, you don't embody it, you don't understand it fully, and you go ahead and you spread misinformation, right? Out of a place of wounding. So maybe you heard that there are destined connection, that sometimes the masculine is in denial, is in avoidance, runs away, but sooner or later. But you guys, in the beginning of these connections, even whether it is your soul tie or not, if you watch me, you would have heard me say this: soul tie or not, no one can accept this behavior. Even in true soul connections, we have to say no. Because this is not okay. This is wounding. And true soul connection doesn't excuse wounding. It just accepts that maybe, this is a soul connection, but it changes nothing. Let's dive deeper. Let's dive deeper. I want to confirm what's going on. We'll tap into your energy. What's going on in this collective space? I need more time to think. You would be in a place of confusion, in a place of I don't know what's going on, and more. I need more time to think. We have space. And we had that isolation, remember? So I feel like you're sitting a little bit. Maybe you are now finding yourself not doing a lot of socializing, time alone in bed, thinking about this person. Danger of, scrolling on TikTok and finding misinformation. We have damage. We are both hurting from this. We have damage. So there's definitely has been damage, there's been dishonesty from this person. There is an energy of pain, and I'm sensing it within this collective. But we have forgiveness and we have new chapter. I think like this is something you are thinking about, that you want to forgive this person, that this person deserves forgiveness, and that you want a new chapter. I always teach you guys, and this is the thing. We treat others, right, accordingly to what we have inside of us. So sometimes when you are someone who is very kind and very loving, and one of those people that just refuses to believe that people can be cruel and that people can be so wounded that they really don't have much light on the surface, right? You push yourself to believe there has to be an explanation. No one would do this just out of viciousness of their character, because you have this goodness inside of you. And it's a quality of humans that what we ourselves would or wouldn't do, we always project, right? So if someone, for example, it goes the wrong way too. If someone, for example, has been cheated on in the past and they've never healed that, they will always suspect everyone that they're cheaters, right? If someone has distortion on a level of intimacy and sexuality, they will always say, this is why people say people lie, people cheat, men are dogs, right? Because it's their own woundings. It's not true, but it's their own wounding. But if your wounding goes to the other side, that people pleaser, that really, right, that softness without boundaries, You never expect that someone will be dishonest, that someone will hurt you, that someone will ghost you, because you would never do this to people. So you cannot comprehend, why is this happening? There has to be a logical explanation. You know, that like those women and men maybe too, that when you start dating someone and then this person disappear and ghosts you, you start to call, you start to text, because you literally think that they're somewhere in a ditch, because you cannot imagine that they just go on with their life, and it's just a normal day for them, and they just did this to you. So you go into thinking something must have happened. Maybe they had an accident, maybe they lost their phone, right? You keep looking for excuses because you cannot understand that there are people who can do this and sleep very well. Yes, it is because of the wounding, right? So maybe you are still hoping that, I feel you still hope for a new chapter with this person. Space. Ay. We have self-love. I'm still trying to heal. You guys, what I just heard is that you literally, this collective, you would maybe even be blaming yourself. You would maybe even be blaming yourself. So this person goes to you and you would go into something must have happened. Maybe I said something. No matter what you say, I'm going to say this once again so you understand. Even if you imagine, sometimes we see these scenes in movies and online, the worst date ever, okay? Someone is being rude to you, someone is like really obnoxious. Even this person deserves for you to say, it ain't gonna work out, please do not text me ever again, I'm sorry, but we're not vibing on the same, however you want to word it in a respectful way. It is never your fault. Everyone has the right to be who they are. The question is, are we aligned? Are we vibing on the same frequency? Everyone deserves that response and that answer, right? So no, it's not your fault. What is missing in that self-love element is your boundary, is you understanding that it's not your fault. You did nothing to deserve this. Damage. Irreplaceable. Soul contracts. 2 more. We have soul contract. Well, you definitely have a soul contract with this person, right? And I teach you guys this all the time. Whoever we come across, whether it's just literally one date, one night, one encounter, or they form a part of our life for a couple of weeks, months, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a karmic relationship, if it's a twin soul, if it's a soulmate. If someone has impact on our life and causes this kind of a thing, it means that we have a soul contract. It was destined. It was destined for you to meet. But here's the thing, every soul contract, this is what I teach you guys, because in the beginning it's confusing, and if you want to avoid the confusion, there's one thing that you just have to get this through your head. Every soul contract, doesn't matter if it's with a twin soul or if it's with a karmic, is for us to learn. It's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to expand your consciousness. So forget about who this person could be to you right now. What is it that they're teaching you? What is it that they're teaching you? We have drama starter and we have bad reputation. To be honest, I'm not getting the nicest energy from this person. I think it's this person that's this drama starter. Sometimes, people are so wounded that they don't know any other ways of operating than in a toxic way. Because this is what they know. This is what they've been taught since childhood. They never experience peace, unconditional love, soothing relationships. So this is what they know. This is how they act. But I think that you're really, I'm really hearing strongly for this collective that you're not seeing this person the way they are now. You're not seeing that they're not the nicest energy. You think that they wounded. You probably think that they just maybe too intimidated, maybe they scared of love and their commitment, and maybe deep down, you know, it is true. In the end, people who act that way, in the end it is really ultimately that is the truth. But right now it's I'm sorry to say this. If everything, you know, make sure that this reading resonates, watch it from the beginning to the end. But if this is really this collective, this person doesn't care right now. They don't care. They're coming from a place of just being egoistic. Whenever they don't want to talk to you, they don't care how you're going to feel about this. They just don't respond. They don't feel they owe you an explanation because they don't care. And when it comes to them, they feel like, you know, they know that you're going to respond, so they reach out. I don't want to say it the way, because you guys know that I always say that forgiveness lives in a healthy heart. We have to have forgiveness towards anyone, no matter what they did to us, because we're not going to be able to expand our consciousness. And that forgiveness should come from the understanding that whoever did whatever to us, it came from a soul contract that we signed as a soul before we came into this life. So it had to happen. So we have to, I mean, we don't have to do nothing, but we should have forgiveness if we want to grow. But this person, so I don't want to say they don't deserve your forgiveness. They deserve, of course, your forgiveness, but they don't deserve for you to entertain their energy right now. Do you know what I mean? I kind of want to tap into energy of this person, but I want to tap into yours as well. Let's do, before we do tarot, let's do this for you as well, and then we're gonna at the end we're gonna tap into the energy of this person to confirm. But how are your guides seeing you? A little mouse. I was actually seeing a rabbit, but there's similarities in this energy. Maybe you're a Virgo, it just came to my mind. You would be someone that you like to plan, you like to control, you like to know things. You don't like to leave things in a sense of, let's see where this goes, right? You feel like it's a maybe waste of your time. Every coin has two sides. Every quality, every concept, every idea in this world, we can drag it to the side of light and drag it to the side of shadows. These qualities, when they are balanced, they can be very beautiful, because this is a very, very healthy masculine, inner masculine energy. We talk about energy, right? Energetically masculine energy, that is consistency, that is, you know, future focus, that is dedication, that you want to really put your energy where it makes sense to put your energy. But when it's out of balance, it can turn into a bit of a control freak, bit of a, I want to know things that are not yet maybe decided yet, universally speaking. There is a little bit of fear in this energy. Okay. We have the owl. The owl is our clairs. And we have that intuition card. I feel this collective, sometimes you have to remember that it is not about, you know, whether we have, everyone has intuition, right? Everyone has intuition. Intuition is our tool to communicate with our higher self, right? With something that is greater than anything that could be logically comprehended in this world, right? Intuition is the knowing. I know, although I have no proof, but I know it's true. We all have that. And we all have capacity to activate our clairs for ourselves, for our own journey. Clairvoyance, clairsentience, to communicate with our guides, to, through that intuition, find our rightful place in this life, complete our soul contracts. But the thing is that when we are wounded, we're not really listening to that intuition. We're blinded by our shadows, by our fears, by the need to control. And we tell ourselves that something is our intuition, and it's not really true. It's like people think that the butterflies in the stomach, their intuition, they're actually a warning sign. Intuition is that first thought and first feeling that you embody in your whole body. You feel it in your whole body, and it lasts a moment, and it comes in silence, right? It's the inner knowing from within. Intuition doesn't stay with you. If it stays with you, it's a thought. So in order to learn to listen to your intuition, you really have to practice presence, and you really have to practice mindfulness. So let's say, for example, that we're talking about this person, right? And they're reaching out to you, and when they reach out to you, or you are together and they say something, the moment they say it, before they end the sentence, boof, you have a feeling. That's your intuition. So most probably, whatever they say, you're like, even your body reacts, right? Even your body, and I'm hearing this specifically, so maybe you will notice this in your behavior. When you grab that phone to see the message, or when they are with you and they say something, the first reaction is that your body goes back, or it leans forth, right? When you go back, and then you start thinking, no, because maybe they want it, but maybe they, right? You look excuses for what you want out of the place of fear, but your intuition always knows. It's just that you're not listening. And when we're wounded, we confuse intuition. We want to take the easy choice. We want to do what we want to do, and we blame it on our intuition. But it's not intuition, it's a shadow. Intuition is a place of light, is a place of soul. We have the cobra, and we have the black egg. The black egg is your throat chakra. I'm sensing a bit of a blockage, to be honest. Maybe you find it difficult recently to speak your truth, to verbalize how you feel. Let's do another row. I feel like this cobra is more about the lion. Lion is nice energy. There's this silent observer energy in your energy, right? I don't think this collective, you're a rational person. I don't think you. That's why Virgo came to my mind. Maybe you are an earth sign, or you're ruled by earth. Sometimes it doesn't go with our sign, but you would probably have a lot of earth in your placements. It's like normally you observe before you act. Normally you're not a very accessible person, I'm hearing. Moth. I don't think you're realizing. I think this right now, you would need to educate yourself a little bit more about your intuition, right? About your intuition, because you feel that this is intuition, but it's bound by shadows, by conditioning. I'm also hearing that there's something, this collective, that you want. There's something that you want in life, and instead of seeing, unfortunately, things for what they are, you're making things fit. Do you know what I mean? You're making things fit into your mold of the life that you want to live. Maybe you want love, and you know, you feel like you have feelings towards this person.